everybody, welcome back to the garage. I'm your lovely host Doug. If you didn't know that, you need to catch up. So, we got some parts today. Now, this isn't exciting news. I mean, it is, but it's not great news because these are rust patches. Today we're going to start with getting our rocker panel put together and our cab corner patched up. We got just some, it's not real heavy rust, it's not really ate through, but we got some soft spots and some corrosion back there we're going to try to get rid of, and the solution to that's in these boxes. So we're just going to jump right into it and see what we got. Cab corner. Trusty knife. Let's see what we got here. The cab corner guys I got from Classic Industries because they were the cheapest. Same reason I got the rocker from LMC. Bubble wrap, that'd be great. One cab corner. This big box should be our rocker panel. Let's open it up, see what we got. And again, I got this from LMC because they were the cheapest. Oh yeah. You guys can keep that stuff. Merry Christmas. Now. Those with a keen eye are going to say, that's not the rocker panel. That's for a regular cab, not an extended cab. And you, my friends, would be very, very right. So, the solution to that is, maybe, the beauty of television, ladies and gentlemen. We actually have two rocker panels. Now, the reason for two rocker panels is that that I could find, they don't make one for the third door pickups. The only thing I could find is front rocker panels that are what we've got here, and then a rear rocker panel that is only about the size of the back door. Well, the problem with that is, for one, I only need the very bottom edge of this, really. Now, I went ahead and got this instead of making patches because I can use this side seam and it should end up a lot cleaner finished product. But what we're actually going to do is splice these together. We're going to use the front half off of one and the back half off of the other, basically, so that I can have what I need. But the short little piece that would be the back half, basically, was more than these two pieces combined. So it was definitely more than just one of these. And it was, the rear piece was about $100, I believe. And these are $40 a piece or something. I got less in the pair than I would have just buying that back half of that lower rocker. And again, all I really need is this piece here that's the same either way. So what I'm going to actually do is come in, cut out the front half for one piece, and I'll cut out the back half for the other. And I'm going to figure out how to splice them together. You know, I may leave a body line in it. I'm not completely decided yet, but we'll burn that bridge when we get there. But for now, that's my game plan going in. It may fail miserably. I don't know. I've never really had to do this before. You know, I've patched rust, obviously, but I've never had to build a rocker panel out of two. I don't think it's going to be anything special, real honestly. I think it's going to go fairly easy for what we're dealing with and be making progress, and we're going to get this sucker patched up. So real quick, I'm going to show you what we're fixing, and then we'll kind of dig into it, I guess. Okay guys, this is what we're going to be dealing with. You can see this scale. That's corrosion coming in from the outside. And like I said, it's not a big spot, but it is very soft in there. Knife just slides right in. So we've definitely got some pretty good corrosion in the back side of that, which is how it always works. You never see the bad part of the rust. It's always on the inside. But that's our cab corner. And probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually probably splice down in this area somewhere. I have the panel, the replacement panel has the body line in it. So you can get all the way up. I think it comes up maybe to here or so. But I don't really want to have to mess with this body line if I can help it, because that's already good alignment and there. So basically I want to try to stay down here, but my first thing I'm going to do probably is just cut a window, cut this out and see how bad, you know, because I want to get above what I cut off. I don't want to see corrosion on the back side of it. So I will probably dig into that first thing and get some of that cut off and see how far up we actually need to go to get away from that rust. Now, on the rocker panel, show you here. Definitely a little more, get the camera going the right way. Couple spots, there's that one. And then there's a couple spots back here that are pretty soft. So we're just gonna replace, you know, now the back little ways here is not bad, but probably has corrosion on the inside, just like all this did. And then the front just has some surface rust up there. Not worried about that at all. But we will see how far forward we need to go. But like I said, we got plenty of rocker here to build what we need. That's what we're looking at. And again, those pieces, the front piece is going to split here. You know, if we just did the front half, it would split here. Well, that still leaves all of this rust to be dealt with somehow. And like I said, I chose to get two pieces because that'll be a lot easier. And like I said too, we may just do a body line here. That's, you know, not uncommon to see. That's obviously not how these are done, but we're not going for a perfect show quality restoration here either, guys. We're looking for something that's cleanly done, but we're going to use it and drive it. So we'll see how that plays out. We may smooth it over. We may leave a body line. We'll leave that to be determined. Clean metal. Easy to tell why they rust. Okay, next thing we're going to do, since I know where my rust stops basically, and know that I can stay below this body line, somewhere in the top 2 inches or so of this piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the top half of this off, because this body line and the way it fits inside the door just makes it kind of a pain in my ass. So I'm going to get rid of that part of it, and what I want to do, I'm just going to use this body line as my judge, and I'm going to leave more of this than I actually intend to keep. That way, once I'm fitting it, we'll get into that in a bit, but right now I just want it square to this back edge so that that's repeatable when I get over there. And so I'm just going to make a mark across here. Can't see it, but it's there. Just going to have to take my word for it, guys. I'm going to make something I can see. Just going to run it right on that and right across this body line. And that gives me a place to cut. So now I'm just going to burn this off so that I'm not having to fight this as I'm trying to fit it and get my gap right and everything like that. I'll be able to just, it would be a lot easier deal. Done. Much more manageable piece now. Now I'm just going to go over and repeat that over there, except that from my tape, I'm going to cut on the bottom side. So I got some lip there that I've got for overlap when I'm actually ready to put this together. Next step is to get rid of these spot welds up and down the back edge here. They're really hard to see in this light, even in person. The camera doesn't help. That's one right there. They're basically going to look like these, just on a much finer scale. These are more roughly done than the way they are here. But I'm just going to take a belt sander, just a small belt sander, and I'm just going to grind right there. And you'll be able to, as you're doing it, you can see when you work through the first piece of metal and then you're done, you can move on to the next weld. And that's not interrupting that backside panel near as bad as, sorry about that, not near as bad as drilling it. So we'll just go in there and grind them off, and there'll be probably a couple in the back, or sorry, the bottom, and then there'll be some in this door jamb. We'll probably have to pull the door off here in just a bit to get to those. And that's going to be the thing about like this third door especially. You know, regular cab, it's easy, you just swing the door back and forth. But for this, I'm going to probably have to take the door on and off several times to get that gap fit and everything. Not a big deal, just something to think about. Okay, this is what they look like after you've belt sanded those. You can see how it's two different, you can see that inside piece, you can see where this one ends, and see how we're free now. So I'm just going to work my way around it and get all these spot welds ground out, get this piece off. One quick note, we're going to dig this foam out of here so that when we're welding, we're not lighting that stuff on fire. It's obviously not doing us a ton of good anyways. We'll be able to rust proof in there better than what they had before. And the surface rust down here at the bottom, we're going to grind off and treat. We're not really patching in this area because none of it's, you know, softened it or anything. It's just kind of surface rust. So I'm going to keep fitting this cab corner, and then we'll move on to the rocker here after a while. Okay guys, it's really hard to see, but that gap is perfect. I got no complaints about that. Just a little cleanup with the grinder, and we're going to be ready to burn that together. So now I'm going to move on to trying to accomplish about the same thing with the rocker panel. I'll catch up here at some point along the way. Alright, so you saw me cut out the rocker. You can see how crappy it was inside there. We've got all that corrosion and crap cleaned up in there, and I've put a rust converter and a primer up on the inner panel. It was fairly corroded, but nothing that's going to affect anything else, especially now that we've got that corrosion locked down, and just hit it with a quick rust converter and some primer. And then I've actually got my patches made, ready for that. I'll show you kind of what I did. You can see the tape line where I cut for a nice straight edge. I gave myself the same line, but I gave myself some lip up in the top so that I can actually, I'm going to actually put it behind that, and then it will, how we're going to attach this is going to be with panel bond, which is going to be the same type of product. It's going to use the same gun as what we used for our bedside repair. When we're using that SMC repair, it's going to be a similar product, but this one's made for etching to bare metal, and it's, you know, you can actually put bedsides and things like that. You know, a lot of vehicle parts are put back on with panel bond. It's going to be a very strong. Number one thing though it's going to do for us in this application, this is going to stop that corrosion, because we're going to have to, this is our edge that's going to be up inside actually. It's going to go in behind the existing rocker panel right here. This is our patch panels, real quick. But this lip is going to go up in behind. This lip's actually going to go underneath. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to grind the edge here and the edge here. And these holes are alignment screws. We're going to put screws in it, and then once that panel bond sets up, we'll back them screws out, weld our hole shut, and finish that out and be done. But it's going to stop that corrosion in there, because if we weld it, you know, if we just weld it, we've got to get inside there to coat that with some sort of corrosion protection. And the way these rockers are put together, that's very hard to actually get it on these panels, because with that inner rocker so close, it's really hard to get anything up inside there that's going to do us any real good. So this is the way we're going to go. Like I said, it will be welded. You know, the front and back will be obviously welded so that you don't see our seams. And then we're going to have some welds across the top where, you know, where our screws hole, some spot welds there. So that's how we're going to do that. Set this stuff out of the way. But what I've done, once I cut those, then I basically just had to set my length, and I've flanged the front and back of these. The back of the front one I did not, because I want it to lay flat, and it's actually going to lay in there. These will lay together now like this and make one full length rocker panel. I'm sure you can't see it right now, but you will in a bit once we get it in there. Like I said, we've got to have our panel bond attaches to bare metal, so we got to get this primer knocked off of here. I'll do that, and I'm going to get these stuck in, and once I get some of this stuff back up in there, I'll show you our finished product more or less, and catch up in a bit. Finished product, ready for a little skim coat, just to clean up our little imperfections from our grinding and everything. You can tell that's in really good shape. Lower, there's our splice there, same at the front. That's what we got. A little more cleanup, and then once it's primed, we'll do some seam sealer right on this edge, just kind of smooth that off. Be in a really great shape. So once I get done with the body work on this, we're going to be done with filler work on this thing. We got everything else is ready. The doors are all ready. We got the hood all ready for primer, stripped and filled. Good shape there. So guys, we keep plugging away and we're making big progress. You totally dirty. Is that better? No? Okay. But anyways, we just keep making progress, and we're getting there. It's really starting to take shape, starting to get more and more excited about this again. You know, it's easy at the beginning to be excited about it. It's a lot harder in the middle, and it gets easier towards the end. We're starting to see some finish line stuff. That's awesome. Getting really super stoked about this. But right now, I'm just going to finish this up, and then I don't know where we'll be next time we get together, but I'll catch up in a few. And for now, I'll go find a project, get dirty.